And this station.
You can always check out my website, shalomklein.com. That's where you can download podcasts from Get Down to Business and get a sneak peek of who's going to be next week on the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And speaking of fantastic websites, I'm thrilled to be joined by Jackson Richman and Cam Erickson from the National Discourse, the media outlet that is rethinking everything about news, and fake news is the common term that's thrown around these days. You guys are not about fake news, are you?
Not at all, Shalom, and thanks so much for having us on the show.
Absolutely, and welcome, Jackson.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to have both of you. So tell me, Cam, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit of the history and why you realized that there's a void for an outlet like the National Discourse.
Absolutely. So my background is in political campaigning and political consulting, and I've been all over the Midwest on campaigns, and I've really seen firsthand how critical these issues are, not just from a local perspective, but from a national and international perspective. And I see so often that in the DC bubble, we only get one fraction of what really is going on. And with these major outlets, there's so much that's left on the cutting room floor. And the National Discourse is all about promoting a space where we can have rational discourse and really have a really real, genuine discussion of the issues and not have an ideological discrimination of any kind.
You're offering a variety of different viewpoints on contemporary politics, and politics often is viewed as a few certain subjects, but you are really broadening that. And of course, don't take my word for it. I encourage all of our listeners, and we'll remind folks over the next few minutes to check out the website, thenationaldiscourse.com. So you've been, you and I have talked about this quite a bit, getting outside of the swamp, as it's called.
That's right, and it really is a swamp. There's a lot of sausage being made, and it's really important to get perspectives from outside because there's only 60,000 or so Americans that live in D.C. And we've made a point of getting to St. Louis, getting to other parts of the country, and really broadcasting the real news from there.
And covering underreported stories. Jackson, tell us a little bit of the types of things that you've been looking for and the types of recent stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Couple underreported stories that the National Discourse recently published were one outside the United States, that is the quiet drug war happening in Indonesia. Everyone knows about the drug war in the Philippines. Well, now it's spread to the most populous Muslim country in the world, Indonesia. And we also have been getting video correspondence from a couple Yazidis, one of whom is in a refugee camp called Camp Perceive. And that video has gotten over 3,000 views on Facebook. His name is Khalaf, and he's been living in a refugee camp for the past few years. And some other underreported stories, actually, one that we broke was Breitbart seriously reconsidering backpedaling its support for Roy Moore, who eventually lost to now Alabama Senator Doug Jones.
Sure. Fantastic reporting. And aside for the website that you mentioned, Facebook, you guys are really on the cutting edge of getting out there. But the phone lines are lighting up. So we have several callers waiting for us. Let's hear from Michael Kowski. Michael, welcome to Get Down to Business. Are you with us, Michael?
Yes.
What questions do you have for the team of the National Discourse?
Okay. So, first of all, I want to know what kind of stories they report on besides politics.
That's a great question, and Michael, thank you. And we actually have been publishing 15 to 20 articles per week since we started. And we have U.S. news, world news, campus news, business, and also a satire section with Jeff Callan taking over in New York. And we've got a lot of interesting subject matter that we cover.
Ah, that's fantastic. And we've got time for one more caller. Yechiel, welcome to the program.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Doing well. How are you, Yechiel?
Hi, Yechiel.
Hey, Jackson. Hey, Cam. How you guys doing?
What question do you have for the team of the National Discourse?
So my quick question would be there's lots of media websites of different types of media websites and everything. What makes National Discourse the one to read? What makes that one the reason to subscribe to out of all the media websites in the world?
Thank you so much, Shihil. And it's a great question because nobody else is doing what we're doing. We are covering the political landscape without ideological discrimination from a millennial perspective, where for millennials, by millennials, and we encourage everyone to check us out on Facebook, the National Discourse, and actually join the Facebook group linked to that, the National Forum, where we have political discourse on any subject matter you can possibly imagine.
And you can follow us on
day.
Twitter at NATL Discourse.
That's great, and you guys are very active on Twitter, so thanks so much for the call. And speaking of National Forum, not only are you guys publishing online using all of the social media available, but you guys have actually also gathered people together at some live events in D.C., some very, very popular events, bringing some interesting speakers that I'd say some of the mainstream outlets, the much larger, much better funded outlets, have not been able to attract. We are running out of time, but Cam, do you mind telling us briefly about one of your past events?
Yeah, well, we had a National Discourse kickoff happy hour with over 100 attendees, and really we are continuing to have discourse and promote events in person and online wherever the readers and viewers may be.
Well, congratulations on all that success. We've got to squeeze in a very quick break over here on Get Down to Business. Always check out my website, shalomklein.com. We'll link to the National Discourse over there. We're going to be right back with more with Cam and Jackson right after this quick break.